Welcome to Elder Zen. Hit subscribe for simple health tips made just for seniors. Stay tuned. Your next great day starts here. Let me ask you something that's rarely discussed at the breakfast table or during a friendly phone call. Has anyone ever told you, just wear your compression stockings and you won't have to worry about blood clots? Maybe you heard it from a nurse as you left the hospital after surgery. Or maybe a neighbor handed you that advice before your last long road trip. It's almost become a symbol of doing the right thing, these snug, elastic socks that millions of seniors quietly slip on every morning. For many, they're as routine as brushing your teeth or brewing your first cup of tea. But here's the question I want you to truly consider. Are compression stockings really the magic shield we've been promised? Or are they just one thread in a much larger tapestry of wellness, a single tool among many that helps keep us safe and mobile as we age? Maybe you've never questioned it, simply following the advice passed down from doctors, friends, and even magazine articles. Or maybe you felt a twinge of doubt, a quiet moment where you wondered if pulling on those stockings is really enough. Picture this for a moment. It's a crisp morning. Maybe you're getting ready for a walk through the neighborhood, or you're planning to have lunch with friends, or you're preparing to spend a few peaceful hours in your garden. As you slip on your shoes, you automatically reach for those stockings. Perhaps you remember how heavy your legs used to feel, or how your doctor's gentle warning about blood clots still echoes in your mind. Or maybe you recall the anxious days after a surgery, when every swelling or ache felt like a warning sign. These stockings have become both a comfort and a question mark, an answer we reach for, but not always fully understand. Today, together, let's dig beneath the surface. Let's move past old wives' tales, marketing slogans, and even some outdated advice, and instead shine a light on the real science and lived experiences behind compression stockings. Are they a miracle of modern medicine, or simply one piece of a broader prevention plan? What do doctors really think? And how do real seniors feel after weeks, months, or years of wearing them? So, before you lace up those shoes or pour your second cup of coffee, I invite you to join me. Settle into your favorite chair. Maybe invite a loved one to listen along, because these are questions that matter not just for ourselves, but for HAT. But for everyone we care about. Let's walk this path together, with open hearts and open minds. Your health deserves honest answers, not empty promises, and today, you'll leave with more than just facts. You'll have a toolkit, a sense of empowerment, and the knowledge to make the very best choices for your legs, your lungs, and your lifelong well-being. Before we tackle the question of whether stockings are worth the hype, let's take a moment to understand the real threat they're meant to fight. Pulmonary embolism, or PEI for short, isn't just a line in a medical journal. It's sudden, serious, and often silent risk that can change your life in an instant. PE happens when a blood clot, most often forming in the deep veins of your leg, breaks loose and travels to your lungs. There, it can block the flow of blood, starving your lungs of oxygen and forcing your heart to work overtime. It sounds dramatic, and that's because it is. The older we get, the more this risk increases. Why? The body's own systems, once so quick and resilient, begin to slow. Blood moves less freely. Vessels lose their youthful elasticity. Even a seemingly harmless event like sitting for too long on a car ride or spending a few days in bed after an illness can tip the scales. Medical research tells us that adults over 60 are at least 5 times more likely to develop a serious blood clot than their younger counterparts. And if you add in common challenges, limited mobility, chronic illness, medications that change how blood flows, the risk only climbs higher. But the true danger isn't always obvious. For many, a pulmonary embolism announces itself not with a bang, but with a whisper, a little shortness of breath, a mild ache in the leg, a fleeting chest discomfort. Too often, these signs are brushed aside as just getting older. when in fact, they are quiet calls for attention. And that's where the story of compression stockings really begins. For decades, they've been held up as a frontline defense. Recommended after surgery for anyone with a history of clots, and even for travelers taking long journeys. But how much of what we believe is actually rooted in science, and how much is just tradition? Today, as we dig into the details, remember, prevention is not just a routine. It's an act of self-respect. By understanding the real risks, you're already taking your first step toward protecting yourself and those you love from one of aging's most silent threats. So let's keep moving, one careful, empowered step at a time. Let's take a closer look at those famous stockings that have found their way into drawers and suitcases across the world. If you open the medicine cabinet of almost any senior, you'll probably find at least one pair. But what's so special about these seemingly simple pieces of clothing? The truth is, not all compression stockings are created equal, and not every snug sock or legging will do the job. Medical grade compression stockings are uniquely designed with a purpose in mind: to apply the strongest pressure at the ankle, gradually easing up as they move up the leg. This gradient pressure gently encourages blood to flow upward, back toward your heart, instead of pooling around your ankles and calves where clots can quietly form. For many doctors, this design is nothing short of genius, turning basic fabric into a tool for wellness. But how did these stockings become so widespread? Almost a symbol of good health for older adults. Decades of research back up their use, especially after major surgeries. Think hip or knee replacements or cancer operations. In those scenarios, doctors have seen, time and time again, that stockings can dramatically reduce the risk of deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, which is the most common starting point for a dangerous pulmonary embolism. Let's step into the shoes of someone who's been there. Mary, a vibrant 75-year-old from Florida, remembers her recovery after knee surgery. "I thought the stockings would be hot and itchy," she laughs, "but once I learned how to put them on, I felt better. My legs were less tired, and I could worry less about blood clots." Of course, my doctor also made sure I got up to walk every few hours and drink plenty of water. Mary's story highlights something important. While compression stockings are a helpful piece of the puzzle, they're not a one-size-fits-all answer. What about those days when you're not recovering from surgery? Many seniors use stockings for long car rides, flights, or even just to keep swelling at bay during the day. Studies show that for people who are bedbound, recovering from illness, or facing long travel, these stockings can provide real relief from that heavy, swollen feeling in the legs. And for some, that means the difference between enjoying a walk in the garden and sitting on the sidelines. But here's where things get interesting. Research also tells us that stockings are not a cure-all. Wearing the wrong size or type can actually cause discomfort, lead to skin breakdown, or even worse, worsen circulation for people with certain health conditions like peripheral artery disease. And if you rely solely on stockings without also paying attention to other healthy habits like moving, hydrating, and reviewing medications, you might be missing the full picture. Think of it this way. Compression stockings are a powerful supporting actor, not the main star. They work best when combined with other proven prevention measures. Blood-thinning medications, regular movement, good hydration, and even a balanced diet all play key roles in keeping your blood flowing smoothly and your risks low. And let's not forget the importance of the right fit. Off-the-shelf support socks you find at the local pharmacy are not the same as medical-grade stockings measured and fitted by a professional. Ill-fitting stockings can do more harm than good. So don't be shy about asking your doctor or pharmacist for a proper fitting. Most will happily help, and it's worth every minute. Finally, while compression stockings have earned their place in the toolkit of senior health, they're not for everyone. People with certain heart conditions, nerve damage, or major skin issues should only use them under close medical supervision. Your health story is unique, and your prevention plan. Should be, too. So next time you pull on your stockings, pause for a moment. Are you wearing the right size and type? Are you combining them with other healthy choices? Are you checking your skin for any signs of irritation? With a bit of care and a holistic approach, these humble stockings can truly help you stay active, independent, and confident, one step at a time. And as we journey deeper into the science, we'll uncover what the latest research says about whether stockings really prevent the most dangerous complications and how to get the best results without falling for common myths. Let's keep moving forward together. Now that we've unpacked the basics of compression stockings and how they've become a staple in many seniors' lives, it's time to ask the big question. Do these stockings actually deliver on their promise? Do they truly stand between us and the silent danger of pulmonary embolism? To answer that, we have to turn to the science, the careful studies, the expert panels, and, just as importantly, the real-world experiences of people like you. First, let's start with what's certain. Over the past few decades, countless researchers across the globe have asked, what's the real impact of these stockings? What they found is promising, but also a bit nuanced. International studies published in trusted medical journals, like the New England Journal of Medicine, and summarized in major reviews like the Cochrane Review, make one thing clear. For high-risk groups, particularly after orthopedic surgeries such as knee or hip replacements, compression stockings can slash the rate of deep vein thrombosis, sometimes by 50% or more, especially when paired with blood-thinning medications. Think about that for a moment. Imagine a room of 20 people recovering from joint surgery. Without any special prevention, several might develop a blood clot. But if everyone uses compression stockings along with medication, the number who face this threat drops by half. That's the kind of difference that saves not just lives, but quality of life. The ability to walk without pain, to visit with grandchildren, to keep gardening, dancing, and traveling. However, here's where the picture gets a little more complex. While stockings show clear power in preventing DVTs, their ability to completely stop pulmonary embolism, the clot that moves from the leg to the lung, is a bit less certain. Some studies do find that when stockings are used as part of a combined prevention plan, the number of fatal PEs is lower. But again, the biggest benefits show up when stockings are used alongside other strategies: blood thinners, hydration, and, above all, movement. So what about people who aren't just coming out of surgery, those who might be flying, sitting for long periods, or simply want to prevent swelling? Here, the evidence is a little more mixed. For people without major risk factors, the most noticeable benefits are often reduced swelling and improved comfort, rather than total prevention of dangerous clots. That's still valuable. No one enjoys heavy, achy legs, but it's a reminder that stockings are not a magical shield. They're a tool, not a guarantee. Let's look at a story that brings this science to life. Mr. Thompson, an 81-year-old former high school teacher, found himself dreading long car rides to see his grandchildren. His legs would swell, and he worried about blood clots. At his doctor's advice, he began wearing properly fitted compression stockings, took regular walking breaks, and made sure to drink plenty of water. Not only did his swelling improve, but he gained confidence in his travels, knowing he was taking thoughtful steps to protect his health. Doctors now increasingly recommend a layered approach to clot prevention. Use stockings for the extra support they provide, but never as a substitute for moving, hydrating, or following your prescribed medication plan. Stockings play a starring role during high-risk periods, after surgery, during long hospital stays, or when travel can't be avoided. For daily comfort, they can offer real relief. But as with any good tool, they work best when used as part of a bigger strategy. Here's another important point. Science shows that stockings must fit properly and be worn consistently to be effective. If they're too loose, they won't help. If they're too tight, they could even cause harm. That's why medical-grade stockings measured to your individual legs are so different from generic support socks. And it's why so many people feel frustrated when they try a pair that just doesn't seem to work. Sometimes it's not the concept, but the fit. So, as you consider whether compression stockings are right for you, remember what the science and the stories both reveal. These simple garments have real, proven benefits for many seniors, especially those at higher risk. But they are not a one-size-fits-all solution, and they should never replace other healthy habits or your doctor's advice. In our next segment, we'll address some of the most persistent myths and misunderstandings about compression stockings. Because knowing the facts is just as important as wearing the stockings themselves. Stay with us, because clarity, confidence, and health are just a conversation away. Now that we've explored the science, it's time to pause and tackle some of the most common myths and misconceptions that swirl around compression stockings. You've probably heard at least one of these at a doctor's office, from a friend, or maybe in a health magazine. These myths often shape our decisions without us realizing it, leading to unnecessary anxiety or, sometimes, false confidence. Let's start with one of the most persistent beliefs. If I wear compression stockings, I don't need to worry about moving around. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? The idea that we can simply slip on a pair of stockings in the morning and go about our day, safe from the threat of clots. But here's the honest truth. No garment, no matter how expertly designed, can replace the simple, powerful act of movement. Even short walks around the house, gentle stretches while watching TV, or a lap around the garden every hour does more for your veins than any fabric ever could. Think of your stockings as a supportive partner, not a substitute for healthy habits. Another common myth: any tight sock or stocking will do the trick. It's easy to see why so many believe this. After all, support socks and tight hose are everywhere in stores. But not all compression is created equal. Only medical-grade stockings, fitted specifically for your body, provide the right gradient of pressure needed to help push blood upward. That gentle squeeze at the ankle, gradually easing up the leg, is what keeps blood moving effectively. Generic or ill-fitting socks might help with tired legs, but they're not designed to prevent dangerous clots. Let's address another frequent misunderstanding. If I wear stockings now, I'll be safe forever. Many people believe that. Once they've got their pair, their job is done. But health is not a set-it-and-forget-it deal. Your risk for clots can change with your activities, surgeries, medications, and even the seasons. That's why regular conversations with your healthcare provider are so crucial. Review your needs, adjust your plan, and always check that your stockings still fit correctly and aren't causing discomfort. There's also the myth that compression stockings are risk-free for everyone. In reality, there are some people who need to be cautious. Those with peripheral artery disease, serious heart failure, or skin conditions should only use stockings under close medical supervision. For some, they may not be appropriate at all. Always talk openly with your doctor or nurse before starting any new routine. And let's not forget the practical worries. They're just too hard to use. Many seniors remember the first time they struggled with a tight elastic, the awkward tugging and pulling, the frustration when stockings seem to bunch up or pinch. If that's you, know that you're not alone. There are tricks that make it easier, using a stocking donor or wearing rubber gloves for grip, for example. And after a week or two, many people find it becomes a smooth part of their daily rhythm, much like brushing your teeth. Let's add a human touch here too. Remember Edgar from our last segment? He learned the hard way that an ill-fitting stocking could lead to a rash and discomfort. But after a proper fitting and a bit of advice from his pharmacist, he found them comfortable, almost like a gentle hug on his legs, not a tourniquet. These stories remind us there's no shame in asking for help or needing time to adjust. But myths aren't all negative sometimes. They keep us hopeful. Still, the real strength lies in understanding both the power and the limits of any tool. Compression stockings are not a cure-all, but when used correctly and as part of a holistic health approach, they can be a game changer. To wrap up this segment, here's a simple truth. Being proactive about your health means staying curious, asking questions, and refusing to settle for easy answers. When you combine the wisdom of medical science, your own experience, and a little help from your care team, you put yourself in the best position to thrive. So, as we continue this journey, keep an open mind and remember that empowerment comes from knowledge, not from myths, but from clear, honest understanding. In the next segment, we'll offer practical tips and real life strategies for getting the most out of your compression stockings, so you can walk through each day with confidence, comfort, and peace of mind. So now that we've separated the myths from the facts, let's shift our focus to the real-world essentials. How can you get the most benefit and the most comfort from your compression stockings? Because at the end of the day, even the best health advice won't help unless it actually fits into your daily life. Supporting, not complicating your routines. Let's begin at the very start. Getting the right fit. You might be surprised to learn that finding the right pair of compression stockings is a bit like finding a good pair of shoes. One size does not fit all. Too loose, and they don't do their job. Too tight, and you risk new aches, discomfort, or even skin irritation. That's why a professional fitting at your local pharmacy, clinic, or medical supply store is so valuable. Go early in the morning if you can, before swelling sets in. A trained specialist will measure your legs at precise spots, making sure your stockings deliver just the right amount of pressure, where you need it most. Once you have the right stockings, the next step is learning when and how to wear them. Many doctors recommend slipping them on first thing in the morning before your feet even hit the floor. That's when swelling is at its lowest and your legs are ready for gentle support. Wear them throughout the day, but unless specifically instructed, take them off before bed to let your skin breathe and your circulation reset. Daily care and inspection is another habit worth building. Take a moment each evening to look over your skin. Are there any red patches, blisters, or areas that feel sore or numb? If you notice anything unusual, pause and reach out to your doctor or pharmacist. Prevention is always easier than treatment. And remember, hand washing your stockings with gentle soap keeps them clean, elastic, and comfortable. Let them air dry and rotate between two pairs if you can. This keeps each pair in good shape longer. Now, practical tip many seniors find helpful. Pair your stockings with reminders to move. Even a perfectly fitted stocking can only do so much if you're sitting still for hours on end. Set a timer on your watch or phone, use TV commercial breaks, or place a sticky note on your fridge. Whatever works to nudge you up and about, even if just for a few minutes every hour. These small breaks, walking to the kitchen, stretching by your chair, doing gentle foot pumps, are like little gifts to your veins, keeping blood flowing naturally. Don't forget hydration. As we age, our sense of thirst may fade, but our need for water doesn't. Dehydration thickens blood and makes clotting more likely. Make it a habit to drink a glass of water with every meal and keep a water bottle within arm's reach throughout the day. One more essential. Replace your stockings regularly. Just like an old pair of sneakers, compression stockings lose their bounce over time. The elastic weakens, the pressure drops, and their protective effect fades. Most experts recommend a new pair every 3 to 6 months or sooner if they feel loose, bunch up, or slide down. Let's add a bit of humanity here. Edgar, who we met earlier, learned the hard way about the importance of a proper fit and good skin care. But after working with his pharmacist, he found the right style and now says, they're like a gentle hug, supportive, but not suffocating. Edgar's experience is a reminder. If your stockings ever cause pain or seem more trouble than help, reach out for guidance. There's no shame in needing to try different styles, lengths, or materials. Your comfort matters. Finally, remember that stockings are most effective when combined with a bigger plan. Movement, healthy eating, regular checkups, and open conversations with your care team. Think of them as one piece in a larger puzzle, a helpful, proven tool in your lifelong journey of prevention and vitality. So, as you fold your stockings for tomorrow or gently slip them on for today's adventures, know that each small choice is a step toward greater health and confidence. You're not just going through the motions, you're actively protecting your future. Building habits that will carry you forward into every new day. Let's keep going. There's even more to share about who should and who should not use compression stockings and how to find balance in your approach to prevention. Ready for the next step? As we continue our exploration into the world of compression stockings, you might be wondering, are these supportive socks for everyone? Is there ever a reason not to wear them, even if you're worried about blood clots? This is such an important question, because health advice, no matter how well-meaning, is never one size fits all. Our bodies, histories, and circumstances are all unique. And what's right for one person may be risky for another. Let's start with who truly benefits the most. If you or someone you care about is recovering from surgery, especially orthopedic procedures, like knee or hip replacements, compression stockings are almost always recommended. Doctors know that the combination of being less mobile and the body's natural response to healing can make blood clots more likely. These stockings, along with movement and sometimes blood thinners, create a safety net, dramatically reducing the risk of a clot forming where it shouldn't. The same goes for those who have a history of blood clots or conditions that slow down circulation, like chronic vein problems, swelling, or varicose veins. For these folks, stockings can offer daily relief and genuine peace of mind. And let's not forget about travelers. If you're planning a trip that involves sitting for more than 4 hours, especially on a plane or bus, stockings are a simple, portable way to keep your legs feeling light and energized. For seniors with limited mobility, perhaps you spend a lot of time in a chair or in bed. They can help counteract the risks that come from being still for long periods. But, and this is key, not everyone should use compression stockings automatically. In fact, there are some very real reasons to be cautious or to avoid them entirely. If you have serious artery disease, sometimes called peripheral artery disease, compression can reduce blood flow to already struggling tissues, which may do more harm than good. The same caution applies if you have severe congestive heart failure, as extra pressure might worsen fluid buildup. If your skin is fragile from wounds, ulcers, or infections, stockings could increase irritation or delay healing. And for those with major sensory or mobility challenges, it's critical to involve your healthcare provider before starting compression therapy. Sometimes the risks outweigh the benefits. This is where the art of medicine comes in. Your doctor or nurse can help weigh your personal risk factors, measure your legs, and decide together if stockings are the right choice. They'll also consider things like medication side effects, recent hospital stays, or changes in your daily routines. And remember, as your health changes, if you start a new medication, experience swelling, or have a hospital stay, your need for compression therapy may change as well. Let's pause for a real-world reminder. Jane, a lively 72-year-old who loved her daily walks, developed a nasty rash after wearing her old stockings for too long in hot weather. At first, she was embarrassed to tell her doctor, but once she did, they discovered the stockings weren't a good match for her mild artery disease. With professional help, she found a different routine that fit her needs and lifestyle, and her legs felt better than ever. So, what's the bottom line? Never start or stop using medical-grade stockings on your own. Always get professional guidance, both when you begin and as your health evolves. There is no shame in asking for help, and no benefit in silent suffering. If you're caring for a loved one, maybe an aging spouse, a parent, or a friend, be part of this conversation. Watch for signs of discomfort, changes in skin color or texture, or complaints about stockings that feel too tight or painful. Encourage open communication and be ready to reach out for help together. And don't forget, prevention isn't just about what you put on your legs. It's about embracing a whole body, whole life approach to wellness. As we move into our final segment, we'll see how compression stockings fit beautifully into a broader tapestry of good habits, smart choices, and meaningful routines. Because in the end, true prevention is never about a single action, but about caring for your body, mind, and spirit every step of the way. Ready to bring it all together? Let's explore how stockings, movement, nutrition, and mindful living can work in harmony for your lifelong health. Now, as we tie together everything we've learned, it's time to see how compression stockings fit into the bigger picture, a picture that isn't just about socks, but about your entire approach to health, independence, and daily joy. Imagine you're starting a new chapter, whether it's a new season, a recovery from illness, or simply a renewed commitment to your well-being. The truth is, no one tool, no matter how well researched, can single-handedly guarantee protection. It takes a village of habits, choices, and supports working together. So where do stockings fit? Think of them as a supportive friend always there to help, but never meant to do all the heavy lifting on their own. The real magic happens when you blend this support with a few other powerful habits. First and foremost, keep moving. Movement is the body's natural way to boost circulation, encourage strong muscles, and keep your joints limber. It doesn't have to be strenuous, gentle walks, stretching. Even simple chair exercises or ankle rolls while watching your favorite show can have a huge impact. The goal isn't a marathon, it's to keep the blood flowing little by little, day by day. Hydration is another unsung hero. Many people are surprised to learn that something as simple as drinking water regularly can help prevent blood from getting thick and sluggish. Make it a ritual, pour a fresh glass in the morning, keep a bottle by your side, and remember to take sips throughout the day, especially during travel, hot weather, or after exercise. Nutrition also plays a quiet, essential role in this prevention plan. Foods rich in leafy greens, berries, salmon, nuts, and whole grains help keep your blood vessels flexible and your heart strong. They also offer the vitamins and minerals that support every system in your body, including your veins and arteries. And don't forget to keep salt and processed foods in check. Too much sodium can cause swelling and put unnecessary strain on your circulatory system. Medication management is equally important. Sometimes, the very prescriptions that help us heal can also raise our risk of blood clots. That's why it's so crucial to keep an updated list of all the medications and supplements you take, and to review them regularly with your doctor or pharmacist. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Does this increase my risk for clots? Should I change anything in my routine? Even small adjustments can make a big difference. Beyond the physical, remember that managing stress and caring for your mental well-being also supports your body. Chronic stress can impact hormones, inflammation, and even your motivation to keep up healthy routines. So make space for laughter, connection, and activities that bring you peace, whether that's gardening, reading, time with friends, or moments of quiet reflection. Let's not overlook the power of community and shared wisdom. So many seniors discover their best health tips not just from doctors, but from each other's stories shared at the local senior center. Advice passed down from family, or even support found in online forums and wellness groups. If you have a tip, a question, or even a concern, reach out and share it. You never know whose life you might touch, or what new idea could help you thrive. Bringing this all together, it's clear that compression stockings are far more than just another item on your health checklist. When used thoughtfully, fitted properly, and combined with these broader habits, they become a powerful ally in your quest for vibrant, independent living. The journey doesn't stop with putting on a pair of socks. It begins anew every morning. In every mindful step, every nourishing meal, every conversation, and every moment you choose to care for yourself. And as we move toward our closing thoughts, let this be a gentle reminder. Health is never a single destination or a secret formula. It's a lifelong path filled with learning, adapting, and growing stronger through both challenges and triumphs. By embracing stockings as part of a bigger prevention plan, you're not just protecting your legs or your lungs, you're nurturing your freedom, your confidence, and the promise of many more active, joyful days ahead. Stay with us for the final thoughts and an uplifting conclusion, because your story and your health truly matter. As we reach the end of our journey together today, let's pause for a moment and look back at the path we've walked. We've untangled the myths and realities about compression stockings, explored the hidden risks of blood clots, and more. Importantly, opened up a new way of thinking about prevention, one that is holistic, balanced, and rooted in everyday actions. If you've made it this far, know that you are already taking a powerful step towards greater awareness, health, and independence. That in itself deserves a moment of pride. Let's remember, the greatest gift you can give yourself and those who love you is to stay curious and stay involved in your own health journey. Every question you ask, every small change you try, every habit you build is another thread in the fabric of a long, vibrant life. Your story is unique, and your experiences matter. Even if you've had challenges in the past, maybe you found compression stockings uncomfortable. Maybe you skipped a walk here or there. Maybe you've struggled with motivation. That's all part of the journey. It's never too late to make a new choice, to try again, and to celebrate progress. No matter how small, you are not alone on this path. Across the world, seniors and their loved ones are asking the same questions, sharing the same concerns, and seeking the same sense of confidence and security. When you reach out for information, or when you pass along your wisdom to a friend or a neighbor, you're building a community of support that stretches far beyond your own living room. And don't underestimate the ripple effect your actions can have. When you put on your stockings with care, when you remind a loved one to stay hydrated, or when you encourage someone to move just a little more, you're planting seeds of prevention that can blossom into years of additional freedom, adventure, and cherished memories. Think of each new day as an opportunity, a blank page to write the next chapter of your health story with intention and hope. Let's also be honest. There will be days that are harder than others. Maybe you'll feel tired, maybe old aches flare up, maybe motivation feels out of reach. In those moments, remember the power of self-compassion. Reach for support, ask questions, and don't be afraid to adjust your routine. Flexibility, both in body and spirit, is one of the great strengths of aging well. So what's the next step? Maybe it's as simple as sharing what you've learned today with a friend, setting a timer to remind yourself to move, or booking a check-in with your healthcare provider to review your prevention plan. Perhaps it's taking a fresh look at your diet or asking your doctor for help getting the right fit for your compression stockings. Each of these steps, no matter how ordinary they may seem, is an act of self-care and empowerment. As you continue on your health journey, keep asking, what can I do today to move a little more? Who can I connect with for support? How can I make my routines work for me, not against me? These questions are not just practical, they are deeply powerful. They put you in the driver's seat, guiding your own health with the wisdom and experience you've earned over the years. And if you found value in this conversation, I invite you to take a moment, like, share, and subscribe so we can continue growing this community of informed, empowered, and joyful seniors. Your voice matters here, and your questions help guide future topics and support others who are walking this same path. In closing, remember this: the best years of your life aren't behind you, they are right here, waiting to be lived with confidence, energy, and purpose. Whether it's through small daily choices, building connections, or simply showing yourself a bit of kindness, you are writing a story of resilience and hope. So here's to you, to your health, your happiness, and all the beautiful days ahead. Keep moving, keep learning, and keep believing in your ability to thrive. The journey continues, and together we'll make every step count. Take care, and until next time, stay active, stay curious, and stay connected. You've got this, and you're never alone.